Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is my first video, at least from this year. We haven't made any videos for a while, and we have also a new guest here, Nathan. Welcome, welcome to the team. First of all, you've been joining us from December. We've been rocking and rolling from the beginning of the year. But yeah, happy to have you here, and please introduce what you do here at Acquire.Fi.
Absolutely. What's going on, friends and degens all around the world? I'm Nate, been in the crypto space for about 4 years now, full time. Dabbled as a degen trader for a little bit before that. But yeah, came on board with Acquire.Fi here in December. Did a lot of work in the VC side of things the previous 3 years of that, doing early stage startup investment advisory type of role with some other companies. Known Jan for what, 3 years, 3.5 years now. I think we met at Token years and years ago. I've been friends and did some deal flow for the last couple of years, and he finally convinced me to come over and join the team in December. So stoked to be here. It's been a lot of fun. We've got a lot of cool new things we're working on. Overall, just trying to help to add to the existing business lines where I can. And we've opened up, if you've seen some of the announcements, the Acquire.Fi growth arm recently, where we're one of the biggest requests that they've been seeing from all their existing clientele on the OTC, M&A, et cetera, side of the business. Is help around marketing, especially with KOL. So the Acquire.Fi growth arm is an effort to kind of meet some of those needs and bring in another business vertical under the Acquire.Fi umbrella. So helping out on high-level consulting and strategy for all things marketing with when it comes to Web3, and internally, especially helping out on the KOL side of things. We've just recently this week here got our KOL agency up and running. So kind of helping out to curate and manage some of the most fun people in the space.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you on board. And anyway, it's been a while since we done these videos, and now when we got everything on place, we've been actually building behind the scenes. Tier 5 community. Sorry if we haven't been that active, been that active lately. It's just that we've been actually growing and growing and growing. But this is exciting. And hopefully these videos, what we do here, are going to be something that we do weekly, maybe even twice or 3 times a week. But let's see. But yeah, hey, Nate, what's up with the market? It's been 10 days since we saw one of the biggest hacks in crypto. $1.4 billion was basically stolen from Bybit. This has been very controversial because basically what happened was that Gnosis, which is safe, which is basically everyone in crypto are using Gnosis wallet. This is a cold wallet, and there's usually 3 or 5 signatures. What does it mean? It means that every time you need to do a transaction, you need to sign with 3 different persons or 5 different persons. And somehow these North Korean hackers got into the safe system and they basically hacked Bybit. What's your take here?
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors floating around with what's going on with Bybit. Was it an inside job? I think over the past few years, when there's been hacks like this, fingers have always been pointed to it having at least some component of an inside help. Lazarus is a pretty well-known group, supposedly out of North Korea. The Kim Jong-un hasn't been kind enough to verify that yet, but we're pretty sure that North Korean, very well-funded hacker group. They've attacked banks on the TradFi side. They've been responsible for multiple hacks within crypto now, and then obviously the Bybit one here, the largest so far. I mean, it's hard to say. I think we're still learning more and more about how this happened. It seems a little bit tough for them to have come in and penetrated, multiple different people's accounts and gotten this all their passwords or their keys for the safe wallet and been able to simultaneously log in and execute this hack. I'm also not 100% sure the exact exploit attack vector, but that's from what I understand. It was they were able to using multiple team members safe keys get in and liquidate those funds on there. At the same time, again, this isn't just an average like hacker group. This is a nation state funded hacker group with years and years of experience, probably dozens of people on the team, and millions of dollars behind them to execute something like this. So this isn't something that they've probably been working on for months, if not years, to get access to this. So is it out of the realm of possibility? No, definitely not. But typically in these cases, they have some kind of insider help. It's not Project Swordfish going on here.
Yeah, but I think another note here, after the Bybit hack, the market has been horrible. So what do you think? Has Bybit been trying to get the losses through trading against the plebs, or is this just market turmoil because of the trade war that is happening in United States?
Yeah, that was one thing that I saw as kind of a silver lining with the hack is this is the biggest hack ever, bigger than FTX, the scandal in terms of the single liquidation amount that got stolen, biggest hack of all time. And the markets didn't really flinch. I thought the Bybit team, their leadership did an excellent job immediately getting out and being very transparent, which is the opposite of what most of these teams do. They're on lockdown and radio silence, which just causes more panic and FUD. But I mean, they were out there within minutes of this news breaking, letting people know, this is what's happened. All the rest of the funds are safe. We got this under control, so on and so forth. And the markets pretty much didn't blink. They sat around 96K. I think personally, more of what we've seen going on in the markets is due to the wider macroeconomic perspective of what's going on around the world with the turmoil in Europe, the trade wars, etc. That's kind of spooking the markets. So I think that Bybit has a lot less to do with what's going on right now in the markets than all this other turmoil that we're seeing, especially in regards to the tariffs and such going on.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? There's going to be the first ever White House Crypto Summit in 2 days. What's your take on this?
Man, I think that's
the news. It's pretty bullish.
Yeah, I think this the news of this White House Crypto Summit is the real impetus that we're seeing. Just in the last couple of days of this most recent rally. We saw the Trump announcement of the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve on a Sunday, which was interesting timing, not an accident, most definitely. That we saw a massive pump, brought us right back up into like 96,000. Of course, the next day it all retraced with I think it was the second biggest downside day in Bitcoin's history in a single 24-hour period there. So, that which wasn't a huge surprise to me. Anytime you see a market pumping off of, some news event like this, a tweet from Trump, that's not a real solid foundation for the market to be building on. Typically, if it's not followed up by actual, action, you expect to see a lot of that disappear. But again, now we've dropped back down under 80 and we're bounced back up. What are we sitting at currently? About 91,000. So back up above 90, which is really great to see, really positive. And I think most of that is, again, on the rumor of what's going to happen at this White House summit here for this crypto White House summit. I am personally in the camp of saying this is going to be another buy the rumor, sell the news event, unless we get some very, very major bullish news and some actionable items coming out of this meeting tomorrow. I think, over the weekend and early into next week, we see, most of these gains wipe back out and, kind of send us back down into the low 80s there. That being said, if we do get some major bullish news, if they come out and they lay out the guidelines and say, okay, this is when the Bitcoin, this is what we're going to include in the strategic reserve. Here are the exact numbers of what we're buying. Here's when we're going to start buying, et cetera. Here's some other regulatory things that are coming out. That it was going to be taking place, that could be big enough news that really actually keeps this market moving forward. But if they just come out with some typical wishy-washy, yeah, we're going to do a reserve, we're going to talk about it more, we're going to form this committee, here's some other plans, that's nothing that's going to really keep these markets pumping the way they have. And so I'm in the camp of we're going to get another sell into the weekend here after this White House Crypto Summit. But overall, it's one in a string of bullish news. When you look at the actual crypto markets have been super bullish the last couple of weeks, despite the prices. We've had very little bad news. I mean, aside from, you know, the hackers being able to liquidate the entire $1.4 billion, which, you know, we can get into that in a little bit here. And the, you know, kind of some of the market manipulation, insider trading that's been going on with like Hyperliquid, with a guy who's shorted ETH for like 81 million now in a couple of days. You know, there's that typical stuff, but overall it's been super bullish. You know, we got an official tweet from Trump on the crypto reserve. We got the White House summit going on. Multiple SEC cases are won. So Pulse Chain, what's his name? Richard Hart from Pulse Chain won his case. They've dropped the cases against Yuga Labs. They dropped the case against Kraken. This is all within like the last 2 weeks.
No, it's very bullish news. Like,
yeah.
And again, I'm going back to this tweet again here, because I think there's a new narrative coming in, and I see this like happening also with the VCs that I talk to. Like, there's a lot of VCs now talking about like, hey, are you made in US? Are you corporate in US? Are you going to be in US and so forth? This was not the topic that people talked about before. Usually they were offshore, but now the case seems to be like, hey, you want to be in the US, and coins that are in the US, like Sui, for example, and part of this crew over here, they're going to be very bullish. Like, I don't know, like I seem to spot a lot of different tweets with Trump, movement, Sui, and all of these guys together just hanging around and being very bullish. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, despite the fear and greed is like on 15 or 20 at the moment, like we are very bearish at the moment. But if you look at the overall sentiment and what's happening in the news, like things are pretty okay. Like things are pretty actually bullish on the crypto atmosphere overall. But yeah, let's see what's happening in the market. Like BTC is over 91K. Obviously we had some up and downs, but yeah, what's your take here?
Oh yeah, the last 2 weeks have felt like a year in crypto, right? I mean, we just had some wild swings, some of the biggest you know, gains and losses within, you know, single day periods that we've seen ever in crypto history. And it's almost, in my opinion, it's almost all coming off of factors outside of crypto, all in the traditional markets, right? Because all the news within crypto is super bullish, right? We've got money, you know, major investments flowing in, like Flowdesk raised $102 million in the last month. Metaplanet grabbed 87 million more to buy more Bitcoin. Like, so money's still coming in to the industry from major investment. We've got, you know, all this bullish news around crypto strategic reserves and SEC cases being won, you know, and so on and so on. So like, if the, you know, the traditional markets weren't a factor, you would expect to see crypto markets flying here. But it's the bigger picture, you know, really with you know, the macroeconomics of the world economy aren't great. The tariffs, yeah, the tariffs are definitely spooking the markets, and we're seeing and a lot of people are also just overall worried about what's going on with the stock market. I mean, the stock market has just been on absolute terror for years now. That the P/E ratios on some of these stocks are just retarded, like insane. I think Wingstop was at like the Wingstop is, they sell chicken wings. That's it. Like they're a fast food restaurant for barbecue chicken wings, right? And they had a P/E ratio of like almost 30 or something like that. Like they're just insane kind of numbers. So people are looking at things like these tariffs, like, is this going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back? And we see, you know, send the stock markets plummeting, which, you know, would obviously hurt all risk on assets, including Bitcoin. You've got the war going on in Ukraine. That is obviously a lot of turmoil around that, with the U.S. potentially pulling funding there. You've got the fight between Jay Powell and Trump on cutting rates. You know, switching from QT to QE. So there's too much uncertainty in the traditional markets, and that's what's repressing crypto right now.
You want to show any of your charts or any interesting news that you are picking up from the market?
Chart wise, let me see.
I'm looking at BTC at the moment, and I've been actually trading it quite actively. I know that there are 5 guys. Like overall, if you go to Telegram at the moment, the sentiment is pretty low. But actually, if you're DCAing here, I think it's a pretty good level. Like
Oh,
we're
absolutely.
still at the
Absolutely.
90, 85K levels. And if we zoom out a little bit on the daily chart, like we're still hanging out like here. We're still in a good positions. And I wouldn't like mind to be here for at least let's say 2 3 months before we start going upwards. My prediction is that these tariffs, we're gonna hang out for a while. We're gonna see some tariff wars at least for 3 to 6 months. But after that, it's gonna get much more better. And usually, and again, like BTC, there's no better asset than BTC and gold against like fiat currencies. Like, let's be
100%.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm in the same camp. I think we're going to continue to range sideways. Similar to what we saw back in 2020 after the initial pump, like in April, we started, we dumped way back down. I think it was like a 50 or 60% correction. And then it took 6 months before we got back to that previous point of the all-time high. Now, do we think we dumped 50% from where we were at our all-time high of like 108? No. But could we see, below 80 again? Sure. I think that's very possible. But yeah, I'm with you. I think we've got more chop and sideways and down potentially for the next couple months, and then work our way back out of it in the summer, and then get into Q3. We resume the up only side of things, and for all the reasons you just mentioned, it's going to take time for all these policies that the new administration in the U.S. is putting in, whether that's the strategic reserve, better crypto regulations, switching back into more markets where bringing down inflation and starting the money printers going again, getting this tariff war figured out. But the overall kind of ethos of what this administration is going for was what you just said. The Made in America coins. Well, that's the whole reason for the tariffs as well. They're trying to bring business, manufacturing, crypto, mining, etc., back to the U.S. To boost the overall economy, and that's not going to happen overnight. There is going to be a lot of pain and troubles in the markets to get to those points, but that's their big goal, and they're willing to take the hit in the short term to get that achieved. For guys like us, if you I don't know, I'm still super bullish. I by no means think this bull market is over. I think this is a pretty normal kind of doldrums in the middle of a bull market before we start part two. So I look at this as a gift every day that, when Bitcoin's down where it is, it's an opportunity, to stock up your bags on Bitcoin and your high conviction alt plays.